Part 5. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 41. The next morning, Lu Ligan began his advertising career. Since he was unfamiliar with the place, Zhang Chen gave him an idea. He used the stupidest method to wash the building. He washed the office buildings and companies first, regardless of whether he had business or not, and left a piece of paper first. Speaking of business cards, if they are not hiring today, they might be hiring tomorrow, and if there happens to be a business card of yours in the drawer, business will come. The newspaper gave him 3 boxes of blank business cards, with the header on the top and the address and phone number below printed, leaving only a blank space in the middle for you to fill in your name. Zhang Chen spent several hours writing the 3 characters Lu Ligan in the middle of the business card in official script. At first glance, he thought it was printed. In this way, the business card looked very formal. Halfway through Zhang Chen's writing, Lu Ligan said, "Add the word reporter after my name." Zhang Chen asked, "Wouldn't it be bad if the newspaper knew about this?" Lu Ligan shouted, "Whatever, they just said to write your own name here, and they didn't say that journalists are not allowed to write. Besides, they dared to issue press cards, so why shouldn't I dare to write it?" Zhang Chen was right when he thought about it. Didn't he have a press card? Just after the 3 characters Lu Ligan, he wrote the word reporter in song style. After writing 300 business cards, Zhang Chen's hand was sore. Zhang Chen was still at the bottom. Behind the phone number of the newspaper office, he left his own BB phone number. Anyway, Zhang Chen was familiar with the talent information newspaper. Lu Ligan gave him another price list, so that if there was any business, come here, Zhang Chen can pretend to be Lu Ligan and call back. Originally, Zhang Chen wanted to leave the BB machine to Lu Ligan, but Lu Ligan said no anyway, "If someone detains it, just go back. Also, if I encounter a unit that needs someone and detain you, you can rush there. Come here, so that when they don't even post the recruitment notice, you can apply for the job. Will you be the first one?" Zhang Chen thought about it, and it really made sense. Before going out, Lu Ligan stuffed a box of business cards into his bag. He couldn't think enough about it, so he stuffed another box. He decided to start from the office buildings, shopping malls, and hotels closest to home, like ants every day, bit by bit. Gnaw it, and finally gnawed the entire Heiken. Fortunately, the press card was genuine. When Lu Ligan went to any office building, he showed his press card to the security guard at the door, and the security guard let him in. Washing a building is easy to say, but when it comes to actually doing it, Lu Ligan realizes that it's far from that simple. Recruitment matters are generally handled by the office. When Lu Ligan arrived at a company, he went directly to the office director and took out his press card and business card. When the directors saw that they were reporters, they immediately burst into smiles, regardless of what newspaper they were from. As long as a reporter comes to your door, it will definitely not be a trivial matter. What's more, someone will immediately call the company boss over to prepare for an interview. Here, I asked you to sit down and serve tea, and I was serious about it. In this way, Lu Ligan was raised. He was too embarrassed to talk about the advertisement directly, so he could only use his old words to deal with the big kings in Yongcheng. He has the ability to start the interview in a serious manner. During the interview, he can only find out whether the company has any plans to expand its scale and recruit people. If not, it will end as soon as possible. Even though it was as soon as possible, he couldn't just say a few words and dismiss the person. He always wanted it to look like a complete interview, but in his own mind, Lu Ligan had hummed the other person's mother dozens of times. Today, for the first time, I met a few bosses with great talents and great ideas. They spoke incessantly and in a high and low tone. From my miserable childhood to my glorious and successful present, from a small ravine to looking at the whole world, The final summary is that the company's 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year plan has constructed a giant in front of you. Wuba's Haishichen Tower, even if you want to stop, they won't give you this chance. Fortunately, bosses like this are generally hospitable. It was almost dinner time. Lu Ligan secretly looked at the time and saw that it was too late to go to the next restaurant. Okay, let's stick with this one. When the boss was about to finish telling his story and was about to end on a high note, Lu Ligan asked a few more questions one after another. The other person's eyes lit up and he thought these questions were worth talking about, so he stood up and shouted, "Let's go, come on, reporter Lu, let's go have a meal and chat while we eat." This is also the experience Lu Ligan summed up when he interviewed the kings in Yongcheng. He didn't expect that he could still use it in Hainan. It seems that the kings in the world are all born from the same mother's womb. In this way, Lu Ligan only visited 4 or 5 companies at the end of the day, and got nothing except 2 meals. Lu Ligan raised his head and looked at the tall buildings in front of him, lamenting in his heart that at this rate, this building alone it will take a month to clean the buildings in Haikan, unless I turn the job of making money into a family business, and my descendants will continue to do it endlessly. Back home, Lu Ligan was as tired as a dog. He lay on the bed and kept lamenting, looking at the recruitment notices all over the wall. "Damn it, Zhang Chen, why didn't I meet anyone looking for a job, the unit?" Zhang Chen scolded, "Be content, at least you still get 2 meals, and I have to pay for it myself besides being a bit dusty. Hey, by the way, why don't you come with me to have a meal and fill out a business card?" "Isn't it reporter Zhang?" Lu Ligan shouted. Zhang Chen quickly said, "Forget it, I can't afford to lose face." Lu Ligan glared at him, "What do you mean? This is also the income of my labor." After listening to him brag about his awesomeness for several hours, I shouldn't eat from him. The next day, Lu Ligan changed his strategy. As soon as he entered the company and showed the reporter his press card, he immediately started talking about the advertising business before the other person could say anything. Naturally, the other person's face didn't look that good. However, the speed it has indeed improved a lot. Lu Ligan visited dozens of companies in one day, and more than half of a box of business cards were sent out. Lu Ligan ran for 3 days, but he didn't get any business. The 3 boxes of business cards were almost shining. He ran to the newspaper office to ask for business cards. People were also surprised and asked, 3 boxes, you are almost finished." Lu Ligan was right. Then wait a minute. I'm going to ask the leader what to do. He ran to the next door office and asked the leader. When he came back, he said to Lu Ligan, "If I want it again, I'll have to charge the cost of the work. It's 10 yuan a piece box." "Why?" Lu Ligan shouted. "There is no way. You are the first to use up all 3 boxes of business cards here. Many people have been away for more than a month and haven't used half of the boxes, so they come back to get their deposits refunded. Then you should encourage me," Lu Ligan said dissatisfiedly. "If you are effective and have business, of course we will support you, but you don't have business yet, and we don't know what you did with your business card. What if you throw it away? No, you are still being unreasonable. Look at the business cards in my bag. They are all exchanged. This can prove that I am indeed running from company to company, right?" Lu Ligan said. "There is no way to prove this," the other party insisted. "Then tell me, what should I do if I run out of business cards?" "You can buy it with money." "It's a joke. Who uses the business card of their own company and has to spend money to buy it? Did you also buy your business card?" "Sorry, I don't have a business card," the other party muttered. "Besides, you are not from our unit. I'm not from your organization, so what happened to the press card you issued?" "What's going on?" A man walked in from outside the door. He looked at Lu Ligan and asked. When the staff saw the person coming, they said aggrievedly, "It's him, the leader. I've used up all 3 boxes of business cards, so I must still have more. When Lou Ligon heard that the other party was the leader, he became excited and said to him, "Boss, tell me, I start from early in the morning every day and run from company to company until my legs are broken. I don't get a penny of salary. Isn't it too much to ask for a few more boxes of business cards?" The leader smiled and said, "Your spirit is indeed commendable, but we strictly control it because we are afraid that you will throw it away, right? The business cards of the newspaper are everywhere, what will it look like, right?" Lou Ligon said, "How could I throw them away? I cherish every business card. They are all made with serious effort. If I throw them away, isn't that a disease?" Lou Ligon said, took out his business card and showed it to the leader. The leader took the business card and read, "Lou Ligon, is that you?" "That's right." Lou Lipole nodded. "This word is pretty good. Is it written on it?" The leader looked at the words on the business card and didn't seem to believe it. He picked up the staff's cup, poured some water on the table, dipped it with his fingers, and then as soon as I touched the words Lou Ligon, the ink seeped out. "Give him 3 boxes, oh, give him 5 boxes," the leader and staff said. He patted Lou Ligon on the shoulder and said to him, "That's right, young man. It can be seen that you are still a person who cherishes his own feathers. I hope you can achieve results soon, okay?" The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 42. After going out in the morning, Lou Ligon continued to wash the building. Zhang Chen was going to apply for a job in a company. Halfway through the car, the BB machine in his waist rang. Zhang Chen thought to himself, could this be Lou Ligon's first business? Or is it some blind boss who wakes up and thinks that having a diploma and not having a diploma, having experience and having no experience are actually the same, as long as the person looks good? Zhang Chen quickly found a public phone and called the number displayed on the BB phone. "Hello, it's me." Jin Lily's voice came on the phone, "This is my office phone number." Zhang Chen said, "Oh. Please remember an address." Zhang Chen took out a notebook and pen from his bag. The notebook was filled with units and was crossed out by black lines. They were all units that Zhang Chen had applied for. "Did you find pen and paper?" Zhang Chen said, Jin Lily mentioned an address and company name on the phone. Zhang Chen remembered it and thought, what is this for? This company is decorating our company. They are hiring designers. Mr. Xia has already called their boss. You can come over. I'm not going, Zhang Chen said angrily. Jin Lily was also angry and cursed, it's up to you whether you want to go or not. Jin Lily hung up the phone. Zhang Chen rode his bicycle and continued walking forward. After passing a street intersection, he changed direction and rode towards the address Jin Lily gave him. Now, Zhang Chen is familiar with the entire Heikan by heart and does not need to look at the map. He also knows which building is where. Zhang Chen arrived at Huaxin building and took the elevator to the 19th floor. Tenlong Decoration Co., Limited looked quite large, occupying half of the 19th floor. Their company was on the left side of the elevator hall. Zhang Chen walked in, and a lady at the front desk immediately asked him, "Who are you looking for?" Zhang Chen said, "I'm looking for your boss. Can I help you?" "Oh, I am. I was introduced by a friend of your boss. He has already called your boss." The lady understood, she smiled and nodded, "Please follow me." The lady took Zhang Chen through the hall. There were many people in the hall, working at their desks. They walked to the end of the hall and walked into a glass door. Inside the door was a large office with there is an executive desk, a set of sofas, and a small conference table. On the 3 walls of the office, there are renderings hanging, which look like they have completed projects. 4 or 5 people were surrounding the conference table, looking at a few drawings on the table. The receptionist lady clicked on the glass door, and the 4 or 5 people all turned their heads. "What's going on? one of the thin middle-aged men asked angrily. Mr. Tan, this gentleman said he was introduced by a friend of yours and has already called you. The lady's voice was trembling even as she spoke. What friends? I have many friends. Those who call me are all my humming friends, Mr. Tan said. Jiang Chen's face turned pale and he lamented in his heart, damn, this is another plague god. Jiang Chen stammered, it's Mr. Xia from Financial Garden. Before Jiang Chen finished speaking, Mr. Tan said impatiently, go and wait over there. Turning around, he said to those people, come on, let's continue. The lady led Jiang Chen to sit down on the sofa, and then poured him a glass of water. After straightening up, she breathed a sigh of relief, nodded to Jiang Chen, and hurriedly exited the door as if she was relieved. Jiang Chen was sitting there with nothing to do, just looking at the paintings on the wall. Mr. Tan was knocking on the table and lecturing people. How many times have I told you that this owner is very difficult to deal with? I asked you to be more careful about the hidden projects. I knew that he might conduct destructive spot checks. Isn't it true that if someone catches him, are you all pigs? Pigs are smarter than you. Damn it. Now people are asking for all the work to be reworked. You guys, please do it all for me today. Someone muttered, I may not be able to finish it today. If you can't finish the work, don't go home. Work all night for me. You can't even finish the work. You still want to go home? Get out of here. Those people turned pale and the rats scurried out. Mr. Tan stared at the drawings on the table for a while, then came over, sat down on another sofa, glanced at Jiang Chen, and asked. Who introduced you? Mr. Xia, from Financial Garden. Oh, I got it. He called me. Do you know how to be a carpenter, plasterer, painter, or plumber? Jiang Chen quickly said, no, I'm here to apply for a job as a designer. Designer? Have you done this before? No, Jiang Chen said honestly. I haven't done it before, so why are you here? We all have to rely on our own ability to make a living here. We don't support idlers. If you have the ability, you can do it. If you don't have the ability, it won't work if someone introduces you. You have to support him. Mr. Tan was about to get up as he spoke. Jiang Chen knew that this was another eviction order. Jiang Chen mustered up his courage and said quickly, Mr. Tan, I can draw better than these paintings on the wall. Mr. Tan said, oh, are you better at painting than these? Yes, Jiang Chen said affirmatively. Mr. Tan stood up, walked to the door, and shouted outside, Xiao Huang. A girl ran in, and Mr. Tan said to her, clear the table, go get paper, pens, and paints. The girl rolled up all the drawings on the table and took them out. After a while, she came in with pencil drawing paper, followed by someone else, holding paints, pens and a palette box. Mr. Tan greeted Jiang Chen, let's go and draw a picture. What do you want to draw? Jiang Chen asked. Mr. Tan took out a foreign decoration book from the cabinet, opened a page, and told Jiang Chen to draw this. At that time, no company had computers, let alone drawing software. For a decoration company like theirs, all the renderings were drawn manually. The biggest wealth of the decoration company was a large sum of money bought back from abroad. Stack up decoration books, copy a little here and there, and put them together into what is called a design draft. But you can't hold a lot of picture books and tell the owner, use this part of the book in the foyer, use the part of this book in the bathroom, look at it, the living room will look like this. You need to use all these elements, all of them are integrated into your own design draft. Whether the owner recognizes your plan or not, the most important thing is to look at your renderings. For decoration companies, renderings are their lifeblood. Jiang Chen was always quick at drawing, and now he was drawing from photos, so it was no problem. In just over half an hour, he had drawn up a rendering. Mr. Tan was standing beside him, and he took a look. He looked at the paintings on the wall, looked at what Zhang Chen had just painted, looked at what Zhang Chen had just painted, looked at the paintings on the wall again, and still said nothing. After Zhang Chen put down his pen, he looked at Mr. Tan. Mr. Tan nodded and said to Zhang Chen, "That's right. I'm not bragging. I hate bragging people the most. Come and sit down." The two of them returned to the sofa and sat down. Mr. Tan asked Zhang Chen, "How long have you been in Hainan?" Zhang Chen smiled bitterly and said, "It has been more than 10 days and he has not found a job." "It shouldn't be." Mr. Tan glanced at Zhang Chen. "Okay, even if I picked it up, let's not talk nonsense. In our industry, the monthly salary of a designer with your level is usually between 2,000 and 2,000. 2,000, 5,000, I will make a compromise and give you 2,000, 3,000. Of course, if the design plan is confirmed by party A, there will also be a reward. Do you think it is okay?" Zhang Chen quickly said, "Yes, yes, Mr. Tan, when can I go to work?" Mr. Tan stood up, walked to the executive desk, pressed the phone, and called, "Come here." After a while, Xiao Huang walked in, and Mr. Tan said to her, "Go to Xiao Zhang. Your surname is Zhang, right? Take Xiao Zhang out, arrange a desk for him, and then take him to do it. Just go through the onboarding procedures and start working tomorrow." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 43. After leaving the gate of Waxen building, he got on his bicycle. Zhang Chen pedaled hard and the bicycle slipped out. At that moment, tears suddenly flowed down. Zhang Chen felt that he finally had a foothold in the city. Point, you can do it yourself, and like the people around you, you can say this is my city. We go to work, we get off work, we ride on the way to work, we walk on the way to get off work, but the end point is not that Jiaofang, not the yard with tallow trees and camphor trees, but Haikan. Finally, I don't have to go back to work every day. With anxiety and uneasiness in my heart, I went in and out of homes and offices, and was greeted by others. Thank you. Zhang Chen found a public phone, called Jin Lily, and told her that he had been admitted to Tenglong Decoration Co., Limited, with a monthly salary of 2,300 yuan, and would start working tomorrow. Really? Great, Jin Lily shouted on the phone. Zhang Chen, I knew you could do it. Zhang Chen chuckled, he was right, thank Mr. Xia for me. Okay, I understand, Zhang Chen, I'm already crying, Jin Lily said. Zhang Chen originally wanted to tell her that he had cried just now, but in the end he didn't. Come back on Saturday and let's celebrate, Jin Lily said. Okay, Zhang Chen kept nodding. Jin Lily was on the phone, kissed Zhang Chen, and then hung up the phone. Zhang Chen looked up at the surrounding buildings. His first thought was that he didn't know where the bastard Lu Ligan was. If he knew, he would definitely run over and tell him the news. It was almost noon, and Zhang Chen decided to go there to eat pig's trotter rice. He wanted to eat 2 large intestines. When passing by the open space, the place was still crowded with people. Zhang Chen deliberately parked the car and walked into the crowd, looking serious. He also squeezed into the crowd of people to look at the newly posted recruitment notices on the wall. The difference was that he no longer had to copy them. Zhang Chen felt relaxed and happy in his heart. As he walked among the crowd, he saw the anxious and travel-stained faces, as if he were seeing himself. When he left, he went to the small house and bought a copy of Talent Information newspaper. He thought that since Lu Ligan was washing the building, he would not have time to buy newspapers. After eating the pig's trotter rice, he felt that there was nothing wrong with going home now, so he might as well go to Haikan Park for a stroll. He arrived at the grassland where they slept on the first night and lay down. He saw the coconut trees above his head, and the fragments of blue sky among the leaves. Closing his eyes, he seemed to hear the sound of the Internationale coming towards him from all around. Zhang Chen fell asleep unconsciously. When he woke up, it was already past 4 o'clock. Zhang Chen walked home. On the way, he saw a braised meat shop, so he went in and bought half a wenchang chicken, a pound of barbecued pork, and duck intestines for 15 yuan. When he arrived at the small shop downstairs, he bought 4 bottles of San Miguel beer. Lu Ligan came to this familiar place again, the Longja building on Lonkan North Road. Next to the building is Kuomao Road. When he goes in, he will find the Heiken Evening News. Going further in, he will find the financial garden where Jin Lily and his company are located. Lu Ligan wanted to ride in and see if the wild boar vehicle was there, but he didn't know if he dared to stop him when he waved his press badge in front of him. Lu Ligan looked at the Longja building in front of him and thought that he might as well forget it. His primary goal today was to clean the building, not to fight with a security guard. One morning, Lu Ligan ran all the way down to the 10th floor. He ran under the South Bridge and ate a fast food. It was very cool under the bridge. There were many migrant workers resting here. People in Heiken were used to taking a nap. Not many people wake up properly at all. In most companies, work doesn't officially start until around 3 o'clock. Lu Ligan was too lazy to go back, and it was cooler here than at home. Lu Ligan simply found a bridge pier, took out the newspaper from his bag, spread it on the ground, and sat down. Unexpectedly, as soon as he sat down, someone came out from the side of the bridge pier. There were 2 people, a man and a woman. The woman was hurriedly pulling up her pants, and the man was zipping up and fastening his belt. After finishing fastening, he left in a hurry. Lu Ligan knew what they were doing, and he cursed in his heart. In such a hot weather, he was not afraid of getting fainted. The woman was in her 30s. She glanced at Lu Ligan and slowly swayed away. After a while, she came back and leaned on the pier beside Lu Ligan, looking at other places and mouthing asked, "Handsome guy, do you want to do it?" Lu Ligan asked curiously, "What are you doing?" The index finger and thumb of the woman's left hand formed a circle, and the index finger of her right hand kept inserting itself into the circle. Lu Ligan almost laughed and teased her, "How much?" $10. Right here. The woman nodded. So many people? Lu Li asked curiously. The woman walked to the side of the bridge pier, took out a roll of mats, and told Lu Ligan that he could do it by standing around the mats. "Will you give me 10 yuan when you're done?" Lu Ligan asked. The woman rolled her eyes at him, knowing that he was just looking for fun, so she ignored him and walked away to look for other people. Lu Ligan looked around and was secretly surprised to find that there were several women swinging like this under the bridge. 200 on Hixia Road. Jian Qiang's wife next door didn't know how much it was. 10 yuan here seemed to be able to meet the needs of all walks of life. Only then did Lu Ligan realize that at that time, all the streets and alleys in Heiken were full of video studios. Those video halls showed all Category 3 films. Those people who ran out shirtless after watching the films, where did they go to vent their hormones? Heiken looked very chaotic in this regard, but at that time, the annual gang rape rate was 0. Lu Ligan didn't know if this had anything to do with these human fast food. 2 or 3 more women came over one after another and asked Lu Ligan if he could do it. Lu Ligan was annoyed. Although he was not sleepy at all, he still pretended to be asleep to avoid them harassing him again. At about 2:30, Lu stood up and went to Longja building to continue his afternoon cleaning. Lu Ligan went to a trading company. The office director was a young man about his age. He held his business card a little strangely and asked, "Why, are all the reporters out to advertise now?" Lu Ligan talked nonsense with him and told him that promoting advertisements was just to help the advertising department. My main job was to understand Heiken's current labor demand and talent gaps. The other party was doubtful, but he still kept his business card carefully. Luligan walked out of the company's door and wanted to go upstairs to continue washing. When he walked to the corridor, a voice suddenly came from behind. Lulipol. Luligan turned around and saw the person standing behind him. He also shouted excitedly, Chen Qiang. When I saw you coming out of the office, I asked you why you looked so familiar. I didn't expect it was you, Chen Qiang said with a smile. Are you in this company? Yes, this is my classmate's uncle's company. What do you want to do here? Chen Qiang asked. Luligan hesitated for a long time, and Chen Qiang came over and put his arm around his shoulders. Let's go, comrade, go back and sit down. Chen Qiang brought Luligan back to the office. The director was a little surprised to see Luligan back with Chen Qiang. Chen Qiang introduced Luligan, this is my classmate, Li Yong. Then he introduced to Li Yong, this is the friend I told you we met in Haiyan, Luligan, from Zhejiang University. Li Yong shouted, it turns out it's you, sit down quickly, sit down quickly. The three of them went to the sofa and sat down. Chen Qiang asked who else was there. Zhang Chen and his girlfriend, how were they? Luligan told him that Jin Lily had found a job, but Zhang Chen was still looking for it. He turned to Li Yong and said, I'm sorry, I lied to you before. In fact, I have been looking for a job for more than 10 days, but I couldn't find it, so I started this advertising job. In fact, I am not a reporter. That press card is just it was to make it easier for us to get past the security guards. I understand, there are too many college students in Haikan now, and it's hard to find jobs, Li Yong said. We are lucky to have a company like my uncle here, otherwise, our fate would be the same as yours. Yes, so many college students came all at once. Luligan also sighed with emotion. He told the two of them how he slept in Haikan Park that night. When he talked about the whole park singing the Internationale, Chen Qiang and Li Yong's eyes were also moist. Damn it, these are all our comrades, Chen Qiang cursed. It's a pity that our abilities are limited and we can't help them. Li Yong was not very sad. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 44. By the way, is it okay for you to do this? Chen Qiang asked. Luligan smiled bitterly and said, I have been running for several days, but no one has been successful. Look at Haikan Park, there are so many recruitment notices. I thought there must be many units that need to recruit people, but I ran to hundreds of them. There is no one in need. Show me your price list, Li Yong said. Luligan took out the advertising price list from his bag and handed it to Li Yong. Li Yong looked at it and asked Luligan, have you brought the contract? One for 800, and I'll give you a good start. Chen Qiang asked strangely, Li Yong, is our company hiring? Hey, what do you care about that? When the applicants come, they come to me. I can just send them all away, Li Yong said. Then do you want to ask your uncle first? You don't have to ask any questions. I can still make the decision for a few hundred yuan, Li Yong said. Luligan hesitated and said, isn't this not good? It's okay, it's okay. Li Yong is right. You just need to open a business first for good luck. We Guangdong people believe this the most, Chen Qiang said. Yes, I can't help with other things, I can only help with this small favor. Give me the contract, Li Yong urged. This is already a big deal, Luligan said gratefully. In this way, we still have many classmates in other companies. Let me ask you if they still need to advertise for recruitment. While Li Yong was filling out the contract and stamping it, Chen Qiang and Luligan talked. Luligan quickly said, thank you, thank you. If you have time, call Zhang Chen and the others out and let's get together, Chen Qiang said as he sent Luligan to the elevator door. And when the two parties were about to say goodbye, Luligan said, yes, definitely. After coming down from the steps at the entrance of the Longja building, Lu Ligan rode his bicycle and went to Kuomao Road. He looked back at the Longja building and then at the financial garden in front, thinking to himself, this is really our blessed place. When he passed the door of Heiken Evening News, he waved his fist at Heiken Evening News again and cursed, "You son of a bitch, I told you a long time ago that I don't want to stay here, I have my own place to stay." Lu Ligan couldn't help laughing while riding on the car. When he passed the entrance of the financial garden, Lu Ligan saw the wild boar vehicle standing under the sun. "Hello," Lu Ligan waved to him and shouted. The other party was stunned for a moment, then quickly saluted him and shouted, "Hello." Lu Ligan returned to the newspaper office and handed the contract to the staff member. The staff member looked at the contract, then at Lu Ligan, and dialed a number. The leader next door came over and laughed when he saw Lu Ligan. "Road. Look, young man, have you got results? I have said before that among so many people, you will definitely be the most promising. How about it? If you want a business card today, give it to him." Leaders and staff said. Lu Ligan didn't know until later that among so many people, you would definitely be the most promising. In fact, of the 20 people who came in together a few days ago, on the day Lu Ligan went to hand over the contract, only he was alone, and the others had already returned their deposits and left. Lu Ligan was riding his bicycle, thinking that Zhang Chen was about to come back. He didn't know how many bad things he had done today. He passed by a braised meat shop and went in to buy half a wenchang chicken and a pound of barbecued pork for 15 yuan. Duck intestines. He went to the small shop downstairs and bought 4 bottles of Huangmei beer. Calculated this way, today's business commission will be spent in advance. What does it matter? Didn't Chen Qiang and Li Yong say it's a good start? Hu Chuangkui also sang in Shaijiabang, "My team just opened, there are only a dozen people in total, 7 or 8 guns. With this first order, there will be a second order, and with the second order, there will be subsequent orders. Wenchang chicken will make you vomit, and Huangmei beer will make you drink enough." Lu Ligan carried beer and braised vegetables and walked upstairs. Zhang Chen heard the noise and came out quickly. He saw what Lu Ligan was holding and laughed. Lu Ligan was puzzled by his laughter and walked into the room. Saw the things on the table and laughed. Lu Ligan walked next door and looked at Jianqiang and Jiajia, who were sitting at the small square table eating. Lu Ligan shouted, "Come on, move out, let's eat together." Jianqiang and Jiajia moved the table to the corridor. Zhang Chen took out the dishes and wine. Jiajia saw it and shouted, "I'll fry 2 more dishes." The 2 girls next door also got up. When they heard the noise outside, they came out to take a look. Lu Ligan called out, "Little sister, come here and join us." The 2 girls moved their stools over happily. Zhang Chen went downstairs to buy wine, peanuts, orchid beans, and pickled pepper chicken feet soaked in a large wide-mouth bottle on the glass cabinet of the shop owner. Returned upstairs. During the meal, the 2 girls next door, Wen Wen and Qian, heard about Lu Ligan's current work and asked him to give them some of his business cards. "Our customers are all bosses. We will also ask them for you. There is no business there." Jianqiang also asked for a business card from Lu Ligan. He stared at the card for a long time and muttered, "This is good. It looks like I want to print a business card too." Zhang Chen said, "Yes, I will help you design it." Jiajia hit Jianqiang and cursed, "You are looking for death." Everyone laughed. Hearing such a big noise upstairs, after a while, Yilin also ran up. Lu Ligan asked him to drink. Yilin refused to drink and asked him to eat vegetables. He said he had just eaten, so he moved a stool, sitting on the edge watching them drink. Wen Wen asked, "Hey, we have been here for more than half a year, why haven't we seen your father?" "My dad, that bad guy," Yilin said disdainfully, "he ran away with other women a long time ago." Everyone was silent. The next morning, before going out, Zhang Chen wanted to give the BB machine to Lu Ligan, but Lu Ligan refused to take it. Zhang Chen said, "I am a designer and I don't want to run out. There is a phone in the office, so I hung up. This is also a decoration, you only need it." Lu Ligan finally accepted it and hung the BB machine on his waist. He had a feeling that he was now fully armed. In the morning, Lu Ligan continued to wash the building, and the BB machine rang. Lu Ligan borrowed the phone number of his office and called back. It was Chen Qiang. Chen Qiang told him that they had a classmate who worked in a real estate company, and they were newly registered. The company seems to be hiring a lot of people. They are planning to place an advertisement in the newspaper for 3 consecutive days. They are already in contact with the Heiken Evening News. I asked my classmate to stop it first and you can go over immediately, Chen Qiang said. Okay, thank you. Lu Ligan hung up the phone and went over immediately. The company was in Milan, a suburb of Heiken. Lu Ligan rode for more than an hour to get there. Chen Qiang's classmate is also named Lu, she is a woman, and she is the secretary to the chairman of this company. Secretary Lu told Lu Ligan that they are preparing to build a golf course project, so they need to recruit many people from engineering to logistics and finance. Come on, I will take you to see our chairman. Lu Ligan said, wait a minute, Secretary Lu, can you show me your project information first, so that I can be prepared? Otherwise, when I meet your chairman, I won't know anything about it. I still like to fight a well-prepared battle. Secretary Lu took their project documents from the cabinet and handed them to Lu Ligan. He smiled and said, yes, Chen Qiang told me that you are a very reliable person. Now that I have met you, it is true. Lu Ligan hurriedly said, no, it's an award. You just have to be in awe of this line of work, that's all. Secretary Lu smiled and said, that's right. Oh, I won't bother you to read the information. We'll go over after you read it. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi-Niang. Chapter 45. Secretary Lu took Lu Ligan into the chairman's office and explained his purpose to the chairman. The chairman took Lu Ligan's business card, looked at it and said, Talent Information Newspaper? Why have I never seen this newspaper before? How could you have seen this newspaper? Chairman, this newspaper is not for people like you who need to recruit people, but for people looking for jobs. Although our newspaper is not well known, it is anyone who comes to Hainan Island to find a job has a must-read newspaper, Lu Ligan said. Yes, indeed, I did some shopping for a few days when I first came here, Secretary Lu said. Lu Ligan gave the chairman a general introduction to the situation of the vacant land and the sales situation of the Talent Information newspaper. Will it be effective if we place an advertisement on this? Can it be compared with that, Heiken Evening News? The chairman asked doubtfully. Chairman, although this advertisement is widely advertised, different advertisements still have different target audiences. If you want to attract members now that the stadium has been built, and you want to post it here, I will advise you. Go to Heiken Evening News. Our readers are all those who have not yet found a job and have no enough food to eat. Who can afford to be your member? But now you are recruiting workers, so that's different. Compared with us, Heiken Evening News is definitely more professional. Our daily print run is 100,000 copies. This print run is the same as Heiken Evening News. Evening News cannot compare, but our 100,000 copies are just 100,000 people looking for jobs. They don't need to look for jobs. Who will buy our newspapers like Secretary Lu? Lu Ligan said, and the chairman nodded. He looked at Secretary Lu and said, sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Secretary Lu said, he is right, it is indeed like this. The most important thing is that for 3 days of publishing in Heiken Evening News, you can publish it here for half a month. If you cast the net in this pond for half a month, not to mention fish, even shrimps will be caught. Come on, in the past half month, all the talents who come to Hainan will come to you, Lu Ligan said. Interesting, your metaphor is interesting, the chairman laughed. I used to be a fisherman. The chairman turned to Secretary Lu and said, then, let's try it here for half a month. Secretary Lu said yes. After signing the contract and sending Lu Ligan out, Secretary Lu asked strangely, did you know that our chairman used to be a fisherman? Of course, in the information you gave me, there was an introduction to the chairman's profile, Lu Ligan said. I understand. Secretary Lu pursed his lips and smiled. Half a month later, and it was an advertisement on a quarter page of the banner. Lu Ligan returned to the newspaper office with this big order, which immediately caused a sensation. The leader next door also ran over. When he saw Lu Ligan, he shouted, yes, no, young man, I knew you would be successful, so work hard. Lu Ligan continued to wash the building every day. 2 units that he had contacted before detained him and asked him to go over. Lu Ligan successfully obtained 2 contracts from them. At this point, Lu Ligan realized, come on, my hard work some time ago is now starting to pay off. Zhang Chen was right. There is no demand today, but maybe there will be demand in a while. It seems that as long as you give time, the results of this building cleaning will slowly show up. This makes Lu Ligan very encouraged. I am even more motivated to wash the building. When Lu Ligan sent another contract to the agency, the staff laughed when they saw him and said to him, are you sending another contract? The leader lets you pass. What's the matter? Lu Ligan asked. Good thing, the staff member smiled mysteriously. Lu Ligan went next door, and the leader asked him to sit down and said to him, Xiao Lu, based on your performance during this period, we have studied your performance and submitted it to the newspaper leader for approval, and decided to recruit you as a formal employee of our newspaper's advertising department. What do you think? Lu Ligan didn't react for a moment and asked, what's the difference between this official person and now? Will you take a business card from now on and never ask me for money again? The leader laughed loudly and said to him, do you still remember this? Not only are the business cards free of charge, but your name will also be officially printed on the business card, so you don't have to write it by hand. When Lu Ligan heard this, he became excited and exclaimed, this is really good. Lu Ligan washes the building every day. The more frequently he washes, the heavier the burden is on Zhang Chen. He spends several hours every day writing business cards to him. Now Zhang Chen has to work himself and basically has to work overtime every day. Lu Ligan was worried about how to solve the problem of writing business cards, but unexpectedly his leader helped him solve it. The leader looked at him and said with a smile, is this all you want? Are there any benefits? Lu Ligan was puzzled. When you become a formal employee, we will pay you wages and benefits every month, just like you did in your original unit, the leader said. Also, when your working period is up, we will also assign you housing, of course, is 2 or 3 years away. Really? Lu Ligan was overjoyed, but my old work unit couldn't pay wages for several months. Haha, the leader laughed, don't worry, our salary is still guaranteed here, but what about bonuses? In addition to perfect attendance bonus, everything else depends on your own efforts. Everyone in the advertising department has monthly task quotas, only when the tasks are completed will there be performance bonuses. Then I will definitely complete it. It's so embarrassing if I can't even complete the task, Lu Ligan said. Okay, I know what you will say, Xiao Lu, I have given you my guarantee to recruit you, so don't embarrass me. Don't worry, leader, I promise to give you a good face. Okay, I believe you, then go next door and let Xiao Ren take you to the HR department to go through the formal entry procedures, the leader said. Xiao Ren was the staff member next door. When Lu Ligan walked to the next door, he smiled and said, did the leader tell you? Lu Ligan said it. Let's go, then I will take you to go through the formalities. From today on, we are colleagues, Xiao Ren said. Thank you, senior brother, Lu Ligan said quickly. After completing the formalities and going downstairs, Lu Ligan looked around and looked at the courtyard of the labor bureau. He felt very friendly and thought that from now on, this will be my new workplace. From this day on, I, Lu Ligan, will be here. I have officially become an employee of the advertising department of Talent Information News. Wherever I go, I can confidently tell others that I am a reporter of Talent Information News. After leaving the newspaper office, Lu Ligan immediately called and told Zhang Chen the good news. He said to Zhang Chen, "Be serious, you are now on the phone with the serious reporter Lu." "Okay, I'm very serious," Zhang Chen shouted. "Great, you finally got through it. You have made it through, you don't need to write a business card for me anymore." "I, Lu Ligan, now have an official business card," Lu Ligan said. "Okay, that's more happiness. I'll go home early in the evening." I also said hello to the boss. "Today Lily is back. Let's celebrate," Zhang Chen said. "Okay," Lu Ligan said, "let's go eat the most delicious water spinach and eggplant stew in China." "No," Lily said, "we will go to Tailong City for dinner in the evening," Zhang Chen said. After talking to Zhang Chen on the phone, Lu Ligan rushed to the Post and Telecommunications office and tried to call Tan Shahen's home. He thought, since the troop was like that and he was not in Yongcheng, Tan Shahen would definitely be at home. The phone was connected and the voice of Tan Shahen's mother came from the phone. Lu Lizan shuddered and quickly hung up the phone. Lu Ligan stood and thought for a while. He walked to the counter, bought a postcard with the coconut grove scenery in the eastern suburbs on the back, and wrote, "I have now become a reporter for the Talent Information newspaper." He threw the postcard into the mailbox, knowing that when this postcard arrived at the troop, not only Tan Shahen would see it, but many other people would see it. This postcard would definitely cause a commotion in Zheohang. Thinking of this, Lu Ligan couldn't help laughing proudly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 46. Zhang Chen, Jin Lily, and Lu Ligan rode bicycles to Tailong City. In Tailong City, there are snacks and small restaurants from all over the country. Jin Lily said, "It's a pity that there are no ones in Yongcheng. I want to eat the kind in Yongcheng. Extremely spicy food." They chose a Hunan restaurant that seemed to be the spiciest. When ordering, Jin Lily told the waiter to ask the chef to make it spicier. "Our food is already very spicy," the waiter said. "That's a little spicier than your hottest one," Jin Lily said. The waiter walked away with a smile. Jin Lily told the two of them that the food in this damn place in Haikan is delicious, but unfortunately there are no spicy dishes. That day I ran to the kitchen of a hotel and took a few yellow rice dishes. I asked the chef to stir-fry that kind of bell pepper for me. Guess what the result was? "How is it?" Lu Ligan asked. Halfway through the cooking, the chef threw away the spoon and ran to the side and choked. He said he couldn't stand it. "In the end, I cooked the dish myself," Jin Lily said with a smile. When the food arrived, the waiter stood aside and refused to leave. After they started eating, the waiter smiled and asked, "How is it? Is it spicy enough?" Jin Lily nodded while eating. It was okay, just a little bit worse. The waiter sighed. Lu Lizan looked at her and asked strangely, "Why are you sighing?" The waiter looked around, then bent down and said to them in a low voice, "The chef has said that he will kill you and put in a lot of chili peppers." All three people laughed, and Zhang Chen said, "Then let him continue to torture us to death." "Okay, I'll go talk to him." The waiter walked away happily. After dinner, they went shopping. When they passed a shoe store, Lu Ligan looked at the leather shoes on his feet. He had washed the floor every day and the shoes were all broken. They went inside and Lou Ligon took a fancy to a pair of leather shoes. Tried it and was very satisfied. The store offered a price of $350, and the three of them took turns to pay back $220. When they couldn't go any further, Lou Ligon said forget it, and I didn't like it very much. Zhang Chen knew that it was not that Lou Ligon didn't like it, but that he didn't have enough money in his pocket, so he told the store to put it in. I want it. Lou Ligon looked at Zhang Chen and cursed, your shoes are not cracked. What shoes did you buy? After leaving the store, Zhang Chen handed the shoes to Lou Ligon and said to him, these are for you. Isn't today a celebration of your official becoming a journalist? Lou Ligon blushed and refused to ask for anything. Jin Lily scolded, we are all our own people. No matter how you pretend, no one knows you have no money. Lou Ligon chuckled, and then took the shoes. Jin Lily shouted, put them on, put them on. I don't want those old shoes. If you don't hold on to these new shoes, you will die from pain tomorrow. Lou Ligon thought it made sense, so he stood on the side of the road and changed his shoes. When passing by a movie theater, there was a screening of Mighty Dragon inside, and the three of them hurried in. Although the movie was actually projected on a DVD player, and the definition was much worse than ordinary movies, it was still in English with Chinese subtitles, and the three of them hurried in. It was the first time I watched a movie without dubbing. I was not used to it and it was very difficult to watch, but I was still stimulated by the plot and scenes of the story. While watching the movie, Lou Ligon lowered his voice and asked curiously, have you noticed why so many people put their feet on the stools when watching movies here? These are all Hainan essa, Jin Lily said. That's what Hainan essa are like. Even if they go to the most upscale hotels to eat, they all like to put their feet on the stools. Zhang Chen and Lou Ligon suddenly realized it. Lou Ligon also tried to put his feet on the stool and told them, don't tell them, this is really comfortable. Zhang Chen was curious and gave it a try. He also agreed that it was comfortable. Put it down, it's so ugly. You are from mainland China, why should you imitate Hainan essa, Jin Lily scolded, and then the two of them put their feet down. The three of them rode their bicycles home and parked the car in the yard. Zhang Chen and Jin Lily went upstairs. Lou Ligon walked toward the door. Zhang Chen asked, what were you doing? Watch a movie, Lou Ligon said. Zhang Chen asked curiously, didn't you just watch the movie? Let's go and have a look. Lou Li walked toward the door without looking back, and said with a smile, I'm not going to watch a movie, so why don't I come up to see you? Jin Lily hit Zhang Chen, and the two of them giggled and hurried upstairs. It was already past 10 o'clock. Lou Ligon arrived outside the door. The stool at the door was empty. Lou Ligon sat down and smoked while taking off his new leather shoes and rubbing his feet. The new shoes were still a little bit numb. Foot. After finishing a cigarette, Lou Ligon saw Ji Unqiang and a man walking this way. He quickly got up and walked in the opposite direction. Lou Ligon went to the open-air cinema that Ji Unqiang mentioned. They were showing all-night movies, 5 movies in a row, no tickets were allowed, and it cost 5 yuan a ticket. You could go in and watch at any time. Lou Ligon bought a ticket and went in. He found that it was just the courtyard of a work unit, with rows of chairs and a screen pulled up at the end of the open space. He was just like them in Yongcheng when they were children, carrying stools and running there. It's the same as watching movies in the yards of other state-owned enterprises. Lou Ligon found a chair in the 3rd row and sat down. He looked at the people around him and put their feet on the chairs. Lou Ligon took off his shoes and put his feet on the chairs. A Hong Kong martial arts movie was playing on the screen. Because he came in the middle, he was confused. Lou Ligon couldn't even tell who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. He felt drowsy while watching it, and then he actually got dizzy. Fell asleep on his knees. People around him were ups and downs. People kept leaving and entering. When a new movie started again, many people applauded. Lou Ligon woke up and saw the new movie started, and started watching it. After watching for more than half an hour, this movie was really boring, and it was far inferior to the Mighty Dragon I watched before. Lou Ligon looked at the time. It was past 12 o'clock. Lou Ligon couldn't help laughing when he thought of Jian Qiang's words, "It won't be that long." He felt that it was almost time and he could go home. Lou Ligon put his feet down and went to put on his shoes, but he couldn't find them. He fiddled around with his feet, and it seemed that he only found one slipper. Lou Ligon quickly took out a match from his pocket, bent down, and struck. Match did not see his new leather shoes, but only saw a pair of old flip-flops in front of his chair. Lou Ligon lamented in his heart, "It's over, someone must have used these flip-flops to replace his new leather shoes." The fire from the match burned Lou Ligon's fingers, and he quickly threw the match away. When he lit the second stick, someone around him cursed in Hainan Esa, "Fall ding." Although Lou Ligon doesn't understand Hainan Esa, he knows the meaning of this word, which is similar to the way mainlanders use Mandarin to call him half-brained or animal. Lou Ligon shouted loudly, "Call your mother." More people yelled back, and Lou Ligon finally didn't have the courage to light the third match, so he had to put on his flip-flops and walked out. Lou Ligon returned home. The house was still the same as before, with the door open and the lights dark. Zhang Chen heard the voice and asked. "Came back?" Lou Ligon turned on the light and shouted, "Look at my new leather shoes." Zhang Chen and Jin Lily both sat up from the bed and looked at him in confusion when they saw him wearing a pair of flip-flops. "Mom, I watched a bad movie and my leather shoes were replaced by slippers," Lou Ligon scolded. Zhang Chen was still confused and didn't know what he was talking about. Jin Lily understood and asked, "Are you imitating Hainan Esa again?" Lou Ligon stood there awkwardly, neither saying yes nor no. "Idiot, you have to learn how to do it," Jin Lily giggled. "Look at the movie theater, why do those people only put one foot on the stool and only change to the other when they are tired? Is it because they are afraid that their shoes will be damaged? Steal it, if you only have one shoe on the ground, who will steal it from you?" "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Lou Ligon complained. "How did I know you like to imitate Hainan Esa people so much?" "Haha," Jin Lily laughed, and Zhang Chen followed, laughing too hard. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 47. Lou Ligon took a shower and lay down. In the darkness, he heard Zhang Chen asking, "Is it hot?" "It's not hot," Jin Lily said. After a while, Zhang Chen asked again, "Is it hot?" Jin Lily still said, "It's not hot." The electric fan was fanning, and the fan in Zhang Chen's hand was also fanning. When Zhang Chen asked whether it was hot for the third time, before Jin Lily could answer, Lou Ligon said, "I am hot, you said it was hot." "Go and take a shower when it's hot," Zhang Chen scolded. "I'm not going now, I'll wait until 3 o'clock," Lou Ligon said with a smile. "Why don't we go at 3 o'clock, Jin Lily asked, forgetting what he heard. Zhang Chen and Lou Li stopped ringing. After more than 10 minutes, Zhang Chen still asked if it was hot. Jin Lily still said it wasn't hot, but this time, the two of them were already whispering. Although Lou Ligon had heard them, he didn't bother to pay attention to them anymore. He put his head against the wall and thought, "It's even hotter damn next door." When he got up the next day, Zhang Chen had a manuscript to catch up on. He asked for leave last night and went to work overtime early this morning. Jin Lily also accompanied him to the work. Lou Ligon didn't have to wash the building today and didn't get up until after 9 o'clock. He saw 300 yuan on the table. Zhang Chen left a note with 3 words on it, "Go buy shoes." Lou Ligon's nose felt sour. He had been worried last night. If he didn't get a pair of shoes today, he wouldn't be able to go out to wash the building tomorrow. Lou Ligon wore the pair of flip-flops and rode his bicycle and went to the store last night. The store owner saw him and asked, Should I buy shoes? Yes, another pair of the same style and size as last night, Lu Ligan said. The shop owner looked at him with some confusion. Lu Ligan was naturally embarrassed to say that the items he bought yesterday were stolen. He said casually, "My colleague also likes it very much and asked me to buy a pair for him. How about, boss, give me a rebate? I have many colleagues." "Okay, I'll open the business and I'll give you another 10 yuan discount." The boss was also very happy. Lu Ligan opened the shoe box and took a look. It was indeed the same style as last night and the size was right. He didn't even try it on. He took out 210 yuan and gave it to the boss and went out with the shoe box in hand. Lu Ligan clamped the shoe box to the school bag rack on the back of the bicycle and rode back. Not far after riding out, the BB phone rang. Lu Ligan quickly found a public phone and went back. It turned out that it was Secretary Lu who was looking for him. Secretary Lu asked, "Where are you?" "Datong Road," Lu Ligan said. "That's not far. Come to the second floor of Wanghai building immediately," Secretary Lu said. "The chairman and I are both here." Lu Ligan said yes, quickly turned around and rode back. Lu Ligan thought to himself, Secretary Lu and the chairman were looking for him at this time. Could there be something wrong with the advertising? He suddenly became nervous. Passing by a newsstand, he went to buy a copy of the Talent Information newspaper. He opened it and looked at it carefully to confirm that there was nothing wrong with the advertisement. Lu Ligan was slightly relieved, but he was still worried. After arriving at Wanghai Tower and parking his car, Lu Ligan quickly took out the leather shoes from the shoe box and put them on his feet. He couldn't bear to throw away the shoe box, thinking that he could take it back to hold his business cards. He brings back dozens of business cards every day. Now, there are already a lot of business cards in the drawer at home. Lu Ligan wanted to throw away the pair of slippers. He looked around and saw no trash can, so he put the flip-flops into the shoe box. The shoe box was still clipped back to the school bag rack. Lu Ligan went up to the second floor. It was already past 10 o'clock. There were still many people here having morning tea. Secretary Lu and the chairman, as well as someone Lu Ligan didn't know, who was about the same age as the chairman, were sitting there. At a table by the window, Secretary Lu looked toward the door from time to time. When he saw Lu Lipol, he quickly raised his right hand and waved. Lu Ligan walked over. The chairman saw Lu Ligan and greeted him warmly, "Xiao Lu, sit down." Lu Ligan nodded towards the chairman and said, "Hello, chairman." Looking at the stranger again, Secretary Lu introduced that this was Mr. Xie, a friend of the chairman. Lu Ligan quickly said, "Hello, Mr. Xie, my surname is Lu, Xiao Lu." Mr. Xie smiled. The chairman asked Lu Ligan, "Had you had breakfast?" Lu Lizan's stomach growled with hunger, and he swallowed saliva looking at the delicious food on the table, but he still said, "I just ate." "Xiao Lu, you made a good recommendation. Your newspaper is very effective. I haven't finished advertising here, but I have already recruited all the people." "Thank you," said the chairman. "Ah, have all the people been recruited? It's too late tomorrow. In this case, I will go to the unit early tomorrow morning and discuss with the leader to see if we can stop all the people who have not logged in for 3 days," Lu Ligan said. No, Xiao Lu, that's not what I meant." "You don't need to discuss it," the chairman said. "But we have already recruited all the people. It would be a waste to log in again," Lu Ligan said. "Hey, I don't have much money. Why bother asking the leader for this? Just treat it as a name recognition." The chairman waved his hand. Secretary Lu pursed his lips and smiled. After the chairman finished speaking, Secretary Lu asked, "Reporter Lu, did you bring the newspaper?" "Bring it with you." Lu Ligan quickly took out the newspaper he just bought and handed it to Secretary Lu. "This is for today." Secretary Lu opened the newspaper, pointed to his company's advertisement inside, and said to Mr. Xie, "This is it. Mr. Xie took the newspaper, read it for a while, and nodded, not bad. If you want to recruit people, this newspaper is good, Lao Xie, the chairman and Mr. Xie said, and Mr. Xie nodded again. Mr. Xie raised his head, looked at Lu Ligan, drew a frame in the air with the index finger of his right hand, and asked, "How much does this entire edition cost per day?" 18,000 after the discount, Lu Ligan said. "In this case, I will send him a week," Mr. Xie asked the chairman, and the chairman said yes. Lu Ligan was startled, thinking he heard it wrong. A full-page advertisement, a week? What the hum? Lu Ligan's heart was pounding. He looked at Secretary Lu, who smiled and said, "Mr. Xie's entertainment city is going to open next month. He will probably recruit more than 100 people. Mr. Xie just said, advertise with you for a week." Lu Ligan was completely stunned. He said no, no, no. The three people looked at him strangely, and Lu Ligan quickly explained. "Oh, I'm sorry. What I mean is that there is no need to log in for a week. 4 days should be enough. If it is necessary to log in for 3 more days, I will expedite it for you, with a maximum interruption of 1 day in between. If there is still a few days left, if we haven't recruited enough people for a dozen or so people, there is no need to make the whole page as big as it is. If we publish the 1/16th edition for 3 days, we will definitely be able to recruit all these people, which can save a lot of money." Mr. Xie and the chairman looked at each other and laughed. The chairman said, "Xiao Lu, I have never seen you doing business like this. People are always trying to make the business bigger. Why would you go there? It's a small talk." Lu Ligan smiled and said, "It's just about recruiting people. As long as the goal is achieved, there is really no need to spend more money." Mr. Xie nodded approvingly, stretched out his hand, patted Lu Ligan on the shoulder, and said, "That's right, young man, I believe in you. You have arranged it for me. You will come to my company to sign the contract tomorrow morning." As Mr. Xie spoke, he took out his business card and handed it to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan quickly took it with both hands and carefully put it in his pocket. He touched his pocket and said to Mr. Xie sheepishly, "I'm so sorry, today is Sunday, I didn't bring my business card with me when I went out." It's okay, Mr. Xie took out another business card, turned it over, tapped it with his finger, and wrote here, "Your name and contact information." Lu Ligan wrote down his name, phone number, and BB number, and handed the business card to Mr. Xie. Mr. Xie said, "Okay, we will see you tomorrow morning." "I didn't expect you to be a fool." When Secretary Lu walked Lu Lepole to the door, he smiled and said to him, "But you are still quite stupid." Lu Ligan arrived at the parking lot downstairs and found his bicycle. He was shocked when he saw the pair of flip-flops clamped on the school bag rack. Someone had taken away the shoe box. Lu Ligan cursed, "Damn, I stole the whole set now." After scolding, Lu Ligan himself laughed. He had just negotiated such a big deal. Who cares about a shoe box? If you have the guts, come back and I will buy a bunch of boxes for you. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 48. Not long after Lu Ligan returned home, Zhang Chen and Jin Lili also came back. Lu Ligan told them what happened in the morning. They were also very happy. Jin Lili shouted, "Great, Pole, it looks like you are going to be successful. Does Tan Shahen know? That day when I became a regular employee of the newspaper, I called her, and it was her mother who answered the phone," Lu Ligan said. "So you threw the phone away and ran away, right?" Jin Lili asked. Lu Ligan chuckled, and said a little embarrassedly, "Absolutely, her mother is too scary, how can I dare to talk to her?" "Coward," Jin Lili scolded. "However, I sent a postcard to Tan Shahen, but she has not replied to me yet," Lu Ligan said. "What's the use of a postcard? If the postman throws it into the office, Who knows who will throw it away? Jin Lily said, you should at least write her a letter. I wrote to her, but she didn't reply to me, Lu Ligan said a little aggrievedly. Jin Lily was stunned for a moment, then slapped her right hand twice and shouted. It's okay, it's okay. You should follow the established policy. When we are developed, we will take a flight back. I have read that there is no direct flight from Haikan to Hangcheng. We can go to Guangzhou first and then return to Hangzhou. It will not take a day. We're here. Don't you already have a press pass? You can go interview her father. Comrade Lao Tan, I heard that you used to be the king of Wu opera. Zhang Chen imitated Lu Ligan's tone and said, and the three of them laughed. Lu Ligan thought of something and laughed. He raised his feet to show Zhang Chen and Jin Lily, and said to them, fortunately, I went to buy shoes when I got here in the morning. Otherwise, Secretary Lu would buckle me and I wouldn't even have shoes. Secretary Lu again? Gangzi, it seems that Chen Qiang has really helped you a lot, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said. Chen Qiang? You mean, that comrade? Did you really touch him with the pole? Jin Lily opened her eyes wide and shouted. Yes, he helped me get my first order. Today's order was introduced to me by his classmate, as was the big order a few days ago. Secretary Lu is his classmate, Lu Ligan said. It seems that this person from Peking University is much more reliable than you from Zhejiang University, Jin Lily praised. Haikan is really small. You also said that when I see him and his classmates now, I feel ashamed. They really think that I am from Zhejiang University and they are sincere. I still humming lie to them. I am really not a human being, Lu Ligan said. Yes, you are not a human being. Let's go. We have to go swimming in Baishamen to celebrate such a great thing, Jin Lily said. The three people pushing the bicycles had just walked out of the gate, and before they got on the bus, Jin Lily's BB machine rang. Jin Lily took it out of the bag and looked at it, shouting. Damn it, don't you know what's going on in the company? They pushed the bicycle, turned around, and walked towards the store. When they arrived at the store, Jin Lily picked up the phone and called back to the company. The call was answered by Lao Bao. Jin Lily listened to a few words and kept saying okay. After putting down the phone, Jin Lily told them with a sad face that she couldn't go to Baishamen and I wanted to go back immediately. Zhang Chen asked her what was going on, but Jin Lily didn't answer. The three of them walked back for a while. Jin Lily looked around and saw that there was no one around, and lowered her voice and said to them. Lao Bao said he would prepare more than 1 million in cash in the afternoon and use it in the evening. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to withdraw it from one bank, so he might have to go to several banks. He told me to go back immediately. More than 1 million, Lu Ligan shouted. To them at that time, this number was indeed an astronomical figure. Take it easy, are you afraid of being heard by others? Jin Lily cursed. Lu Ligan clicked his tongue twice and shook his head. When, if only I had so much money, I would humming. Jin Lily rolled her eyes at him, dumping her in front of Tan Shahan's parents again. Lu Ligan chuckled. Excuse me, King Wu Opera, can I buy your daughter with this money? Zhang Chen said again, imitating Lu Ligan's tone. Zhang Chen wanted to take Jin Lily there by bike, but Jin Lily said no, I'd better take a taxi back in such a strong sun, and you guys should go back too. There were no taxis on the small streets here, so Zhang Chen still rode his bike and took Jin Lily to Binhai Avenue. Watching Jin Lily get on the bus, he and Lu Ligan rode back. When Jin Lily returned to the company, she saw Mr. Xia standing alone in the living room outside singing. When Mr. Xia saw Jin Lily, he put down the microphone and told her, Lao Bao is waiting for you in the car. Come on down. Jin Lily arrived at the underground parking lot. Lao Bao was sitting in the car with his eyes closed and concentrating. Jin Lily asked, why don't you wait for me upstairs? Didn't you see Lao Xia singing? It's time to sing Camel Bell soon, Lao Bao said. Jin Lily giggled. Mr. Xia likes to sing, and the songs he likes to sing are all old songs or revolutionary songs, from The Red Star Shines on Me to Fight to Why Are the Flowers So Red and Going to the Training Ground. His favorite song is Camel Bell. Mr. Xia not only sings out of tune, but also likes to use vibrato. He probably believes that vibrato is the highest level of singing. His vibrato is not sung, but his hand is holding the microphone without moving, and his head is constantly moving up and down, like a chicken pecking at rice. His vibrato is completely produced by nodding his head in this way, shaking out from his throat. Tick-tock. Especially when he sang Camel Bell, he was shaking almost from beginning to end. Lao Bao said that he was shaking so much that goosebumps came out all over my body. The more Lao Bao said this, the prouder Mr. Xia became. Every time he sang, he must sing Camel Bell, and will put it after about 7 or 8 songs. Mr. Xia thinks he is in the best condition and sings when his voice is fully open. Before singing Camel Bell, Mr. Xia clenched his fist with his right hand, waved it vigorously, and said to them, "Okay, let me show off." Every time at this time, Jin Lily would go to the bathroom, and Lao Bao would run back to his room. When he heard from outside, "Comrade, comrade, dear brother, wait until the spring breeze brings good news," then he ran out and applauded Mr. Xia's ending. Mr. Xia was very proud, but also a little disappointed. He told them, "You didn't hear it before, your performance was very good and perfect today. Do you want to do it again?" Lao Bao quickly said, "No, no, let us continue to have regrets." So when Lao Bao said Camel Bell, Jin Lily understood it and started laughing. Lao Bao drove the car, and they went to 3 banks to withdraw 1.5 million in cash. Jin Lily asked Lao Bao, "What are you doing with so much cash?" "It's for tonight." "Don't you want to know what we are doing in the middle of the night?" "You will know tonight," Lao Bao said. At about 10 o'clock in the evening, they drove to the Aquatic Product Wharf, Heiken's Aquatic Product Wharf. Although the name is the Aquatic Product Wharf Wholesale Market, in fact, the shops here sell mostly food, dry goods from the north and south, and small general merchandise. In the business of Hainan's local specialties, none of the shops deal with aquatic products. Even after 10 o'clock in the evening, the place is still very lively, not because there are many customers, but because there are many large and small trucks passing by. At this time, everyone starts to purchase and ship goods. The doors of every shop are closed, but the lights inside are on. They drove the car into the market gate and found an open space to park. Jin Lily and Lao Bao each carried the strap on one side of the luggage bag. In the bag was the cash they took out in the afternoon. The two of them followed Mr. Xia. Walk along the passage in the middle of the market and walk into the market with rows of shops on both sides. They arrived in front of a store. This store looked very inconspicuous. There was a sign on the door that read "Wholesale of Tobacco and Liquor." Like other stores, the lights were on inside, but the rolling shutter was not pulled all the way. The gap more than a foot wide seemed to tell others that the person inside was still there. Mr. Xia walked to the door, patted the rolling shutter door twice, and called, "I am Lao Xia." Inside the rolling shutter door, there is an aluminum alloy glass door. Someone heard Mr. Xia's shout, opened the door, and reached out to pull the rolling shutter door up. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 49. Mr. Xia and the 3 of them entered the door. The space inside was not large, only a dozen square meters. In addition to the glass cabinets connected to the roof on both sides, there was also a table, a couch, and a few stools in the shop. There were already 5 people inside, and with the 3 of them coming in, the store seemed a bit crowded. Fortunately, the air conditioner was turned on fully, so it didn't feel stuffy. The person sitting behind the table seemed to be the boss. He leaned back on the swivel chair, facing the table sideways, with his legs crossed, and the index finger of his left hand kept fiddling with a loud lighter on the table. Hearing the noise, he turned around and faced the table. Through the two heads sitting in front of the table, he saw that it was Mr. Xia and the others who came in. He grinned and said, "Here." Mr. Xia said he was here. The boss waved his hands to the left and right like shooing away flies, telling the two people sitting in front of the table to go away and sit on the sofa. The two people quickly got up and walked away. Mr. Xia walked over and sat on one of the stools. Lao Bao and Jin Lili put down the duffel bag, and Lao Bao asked Jin Lili to sit on another stool while he stood by himself. The boss handed a list to Mr. Xia, who handed it to Jin Lili and said to Jin Lili, "Check it." There were two lists, each with 2 pages. When Jin Lili saw it, they all read Louis XIII, Remy Martin XO, Hennessy XO and other product names that looked like wines, as well as San Wu, Gianpai, Marlboro and other cigarette names, followed by unit price, quantity and subtotal. The boss pushed a calculator in front of Jin Lili, and Jin Lili asked, "Do you have an abacus?" The boss pulled out an abacus from under the table. Jin Lili looked at the list with her eyes. The fingers of her left hand moved down one item on the list, and her right hand clicked on the abacus. "The little girl's abacus is good," the boss said to Mr. Xia, and Mr. Xia smiled. The 2 lists were quickly completed. Jin Lili moved the total on the right side of the abacus to the left side of the abacus, returned the beads on the right side, and typed them again from the beginning. The numbers on the left and right sides of the abacus were the same. Jin Lili looked at the list again. The total written on it, 1,410,980 yuan, was the same as the number on the abacus. Jin Lili and Mr. Xia said that it was correct. Lao Bao opened the duffel bag, took out the money in bundles one by one, and handed it to Jin Lili. Jin Lili gave it to the boss and gave him 14 bundles. He cut the last bundle with scissors and took out a knife worth 10,000 yuan and handed it to the boss. When she was about to pull out 9 yuan from another knife, Lao Bao touched her from behind. The boss smiled and said, "Is this the first time the little girl has come out?" "Yes, this is the first time." Mr. Xia smiled, and he and Jin Lili said, "That's all." Jin Lili understood that the 980 yuan was a discount. She put the remaining $9 and $10,000 back into the duffel bag and handed the bag to Lao Bao. The boss took the other 2 lists to Jin Lili. Jin Lili looked at them and found that the product names and quantities on this list were the same as the original 2, but there was no unit price and amount. Mr. Xia stood up and shook hands with the boss. Jin Lili also stood up. The boss told the 2 people next to him, "You go with Mr. Xia." The 5 people came out and returned to their car. Lao Bao opened the door and told the 2 people, "You guys have a rest in the car for a while." The 2 people got into the car. Lao Bao started the car, turned on the air conditioner, and returned to the car. Down. Lao Bao brought the brick-like big brother to Mr. Xia. Mr. Xia made a call and told the other party where he was. 10 minutes later, a Lexus car with Guangdong license plate stopped in front of them. 3 people got out of the car. The leader smiled and greeted Mr. Xia. After greeting each other, the leader said, "Shall we get in the car?" Mr. Xia said yes. The leader opened the door and got into the passenger seat. Mr. Xia and Jin Lili sat in the back seat. Mr. Xia said to give him the list. Jin Lili took out the list without unit price without thinking. Mr. Xia he glanced at her and nodded approvingly. Jin Lili handed the list to the other party. The other party took a brief look at it and put it away. He opened a bag under his feet and handed over the bundles of money. Mr. Xia told Jin Lili to put it in the bag. Jin Lili wanted to open it and take a look, but Mr. Xia said not to read it. Mr. Zhan was always an old friend. Jin Lili put the bundles of money away and said to Mr. Xia, 160. Mr. Xia nodded. The three of them opened the car door and got out of the car. Mr. Xia and Mr. Zhang said, "Mr. Zhang, do you have a late night snack?" Mr. Zhang quickly waved his hand, "If you don't want to eat, don't eat. Let's go on our way." Lao Bao opened his car door and told the two people inside, "Come on down." The two people got out of the car, and Lao Bao told them to take them to the parking lot. The two people got into Mr. Zhang's car. Mr. Zhang rolled down the window, waved to Mr. Xia and the others, and the car drove away. Mr. Xia said, "Let's go and go back to the company first." "Is this the end?" Jin Lily asked as she sat in the car. "It's over," Mr. Xia said. "Business done?" Jin Lily asked doubtfully. "Didn't you see it was done?" Mr. Xia said with a smile. Jin Lily, 1.6 million minus 1.41 million, we made a profit of 190,000. Mr. Xia, yes. "This is wrong," Jin Lily shouted. "What's wrong?" Mr. Xia was surprised. Jin Lily said, "We have more than 100 people in our factory, who have worked hard for half a year and still can't earn more than 190,000. This time, just this time." Mr. Xia and Lao Bao both laughed. "By the way, who were those two people in the car just now?" Jin Lily asked. "The truck driver, the goods, and the car are all in the parking lot, and they follow the owner of the goods," Mr. Xia and Jin Lily said. "But we handed over the money without even looking at the goods," Jin Lily said. "I have never seen anyone doing business like this." "How many business people have you seen?" Lao Bao said with a smile. "What do you think? The three of us are going to move 2 truckloads of goods, 1 box at a time, count them, and then move them back 1 box at a time." "Xiao Jin, you are right. For some businesses, we not only need to look at them, but also count and spot check them." "This is not necessary," Mr. Xia and Jin Lily said. "Why?" Jin Lily asked. "First of all, everyone is an old acquaintance and trust each other. Secondly, the person you see is the boss, but it is not the boss who can decide this business. There is someone else. You will gradually understand this in the future." Jin Lily felt that the more she listened, the more confused she became. They returned to the company and locked the cash in the safe. Mr. Xia said that after a busy night, "Let's go and have a midnight snack at the Lion House." The Lion House is also on Haixia Road, not far from the Nance Huang Hotel. As soon as they turned around on the Nandakiao, they saw a huge neon sign. The 6 big red characters of Lion House Night Food City were dazzling, and there were different patterns all around. Constantly changing. The Night Food City is on the roof of the 2nd floor of the hotel. It covers an area of nearly 2,000 square meters and has more than 200 tables, which can accommodate more than 1,000 people for dining. It was known as the largest food stall in Southeast Asia at the time. On both sides of the ceiling, hanging more than 80,000 stars form 2 light waterfalls dozens of meters wide. Being here makes you feel like you are in the Crystal Palace. When Jin Lily and the others arrived, the place was already full, and they had to wait for more than 10 minutes before they took their turn to be seated. The waiter brought the menu, and Mr. Xia and Jin Lily said, "You performed well today. Just order whatever you want." Jin Lily pointed around and told the two of them that it was so scary here. "I was almost scared out of my mind and didn't know what to eat." "I'll do it." Lao Bao took the menu over. When the waiter saw this, he moved behind Lao Bao. "It's okay. We are all our own now. It doesn't matter if you don't close your mouth." Mr. Xia looked at Jin Lily's surprised and excited expression and smiled. "I'm still thinking about what happened before," Jin Lily said. "Is there anything else you don't understand?" Mr. Xia asked. Jin Lily looked at the waiter alertly and shook her head. Mr. Xia said it was okay. "Just say it, we are not afraid of others knowing about our affairs." Jin Lily lowered her voice and asked, "Are those foreign cigarettes and alcohol smuggled in?" Of course Jin Lily didn't know about the car smuggling incidents in Hainan in the past few years, but she was still aware of the smuggling of electronic watches, lighters and Teresa Teng's tapes in Wenzhou in the past few years. She heard people from the theater troupe talk about it more than once. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 50. Mr. Xia laughed heartily and said, "On the contrary, we who were caught during smuggling investigations at sea have formal and legal procedures. Otherwise, how could we bring people back to Guangzhou so far away without being caught on the road? Then I just don't understand. Why don't they sell to people in Guangzhou and they have to go through us? It's such a small road and Guangzhou people can't find the boss." Jin Lily was very confused. "It's not that I can't find it, it's that it's impossible to sell it to him," said Mr. Xia. "Why? Okay, let me tell you a few more words. Either everyone has formal legal procedures, or anyone can get it. The boss you saw is our boss today, but sometimes, he is my next seller, and I sold the same thing to him at the same price that he sold it to me today, but he will still sell it to this person from Guangzhou when he changes hands. Do you understand?" "Not understand." Mr. Xia thought for a moment and said, "Let me tell you more simply. For example, in your original unit, a bearing factory, suppose the bearings are very popular, but you cannot produce them. As a result, the supply exceeds demand, and everyone turns to your factory director. 'I want to buy bearings.' But in your factory, it's not just your factory director who has the final say. There are also people looking for the secretary, the deputy factory director, the supply and marketing section chief, and even your factory's superiors. Your factory's superiors are more than one person. At this time, what should I do? You, the factory director, can't say that you are all a piece of shit. I can only approve the note alone, right? Unless your factory director is crazy, can't he do this? What will happen in the end? It's a balance. Let's divide the produced bearings. If everyone gets a share and everyone is happy, what if there are not enough bearings? Another way is that when a bearing leaves your factory, that person can earn 10 yuan originally, but now the 10 yuan is cut into several sections, and the person who buys it from the factory director earns 2 yuan. Deputy factory director, the person who takes it from him, will earn another 2 yuan, and the person who is greeted by your factory director's superior leader will earn another 2 yuan. In this way, are all aspects taken care of? That's the truth. It's the same for us. You know, catching smugglers is not possible every day. Now I understand, those cigarettes and alcohol are the bearings." Jin Lily nodded. "If you want to get it, you have to go through the relationship and open the back door." Mr. Xia smiled and said, "That's right, I talked for a long time, and you summarized it in 6 words. But it's still very complicated. If you didn't tell me, I didn't know there was so much knowledge in opening the back door," Jin Lily said, "but I know one thing." "Oh, what do you know?" Mr. Xia asked. "Why does Lao Bao say that most of our work consists of drinking, eating and singing? It's just to build relationships. Only by building relationships can we go through the back door, right?" Jin Lily asked. Mr. Xia and Lao Bao looked at each other and laughed. Mr. Xia said, "I can't even say you're wrong." Jin Lily sighed and said, "It seems that the Guangzhou guy is still the most pitiful. No matter what happens, he will always be the last one. What's so pitiful about him? Don't underestimate him. He might make more money than us by bringing these goods back to Guangzhou," Lao Bao said, "otherwise, a boss would come to suffer such hardship. From then on, it takes a day's drive to get here from Guangzhou, and it takes a whole night's drive back to Guangzhou." Jin Lily thinks about it. "It's right, everything you said is right." When he got up the next day, Lu Ligan did not go to the newspaper to report. Instead, he went directly to Mr. Xia's company and signed the contract smoothly. Lu Ligan took this contract with him and slowly walked to the newspaper office. He felt extremely comfortable. Only after he became a regular employee did Lou Ligon realize how much he had been squeezed by the newspaper office. Without paying wages, he only had 100% of the salary. 10% commission, while for regular employees of the advertising department, if they complete their tasks, the commission ratio is actually 20%, exactly double. With this contract, Lou Ligon not only completed the tasks for the month, he almost fell off his bicycle after calculation. With this contract, he could get more than 14,000 yuan in commission alone. Oh my god, Lou Ligon Lipang calculated it again, and it turned out to be true. Damn it, the money was so profitable. Lou Lipang was riding on the car, laughing. He remembered that he was in Yongcheng, interviewing those chicken and duck kings. After working hard for a year, he earned more than 10,000 yuan, and gloriously became a household with 10,000 yuan. It caused a sensation in the local village and was widely ignored in the village. I walk on my shoulders and look at people with my chin. Overnight, I became a household worth 15,000 yuan. Isn't it time for someone to write me a role model for the times? Lou Ligon returned to the newspaper office. When passing by Xiaoren's office, Xiaoren saw him passing by the corridor outside and waved to him quickly. Lou Ligon walked in. Xiaoren asked in a low voice, "Are you late?" Lou Ligon nodded, "Yes, I'm late." "The director is looking for you everywhere, so stay away for now," Xiaoren said. According to the regulations of the advertising department of the newspaper, everyone must report to the work unit on time at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then go out to discuss business. It is said that this is because they are worried that someone will not sleep at night or get up during the day, but lie to the boss that they are out on business. "Looking for me? Then I'll go meet him," Lou Ligon said. Xiaoren looked at him with wide eyes. Lou Ligon smiled at him, picked up the cup on his desk, took a sip of water, and then went to the director's office next door. When the director saw him coming in, he became furious and shouted, "Xiao Lu, you have only been here a few days and you are already late." Lou Ligon smiled at the director, "Leader, please calm down, I'm going to run some business. Stop playing tricks. There are 100 people in the advertising department, and 120 latecomers will say they have gone to work. Don't bluff me with this." The director was still angry. "They are other people. I am really running business. How could I lie to your boss?" "You are my boss," Lou Ligon said. "Come on, I see you've only been here a few days and you're already cocking your tail. Do you think you're a 1,000-mile horse? You're still a fool. I'm not going to be happy when I see you," the director cursed, but his expression improved. "Boss, let me tell you, I will make you happy right away. You see, this is how it is. I am a client who is going to Sanya at 9:30 in the morning. I am already on my way to work. Think about it." Not willing to give in, I still risked being beheaded by the leader and went to see him first, because this customer is really too big. "How big is it?" Again, a quarter pass. It's not a quarter-page banner. I don't know what he wrote. "Leader, please help me take a look," Lou Ligon said, taking out the contract and spreading it in front of the director. The director took one look and his face turned pale. After he took another look, his eyes widened. He looked up at Lou Ligon and asked with suspicion, "Are you real or fake?" "Of course it's true, leader," Lou Ligon said. "I have nothing to do and I'm going to carve a fake official seal to tease the leader. Besides, the money has already been transferred and they said it would arrive after 10 o'clock. Oops, it's already here, it's almost 11 o'clock, why don't you ask the newspaper's finance department?" The director actually picked up the phone and called the finance department. Before the director could say anything, the finance department said, "I was just about to call you. I just received a sum of 72,000 yuan. It was for advertising fees." "Is it from your advertising department? What kind of advertising?" So much money? Yes, yes, yes. The director said a series of yes, then flicked the phone, slammed the table, and shouted, "Great." The director ran out from behind the desk and hugged Lou Ligon. It was later that day that Lou Ligon realized why the director's reaction was so great. It turned out that this was the first full-page advertisement since the founding of Talent Information newspaper, and it lasted for 4 days. In the past, only big newspapers like Hainan Daily and Haikan Evening News would have full-page advertisements. Who would go to a small newspaper like Talent Information News to do a full-page advertisement? Even the president of the newspaper knew about this and called the director and told him, it's amazing, you have made history. How's it going, leader? I'll do what I say, and I'll make you proud, right?" Lou Ligon asked the director with some pride. The director smiled from ear to ear, it's grown, my face is almost bigger than the basin now.